In the new Mufasa movie, we are introduced to a whole new perspective of the Pride Land's greatest king, Mufasa. We learn about his early life with his loving and kind parents, Afia and Masego. It was they who told him about the mythical place Milele. They were a happy little family, until one day when everything changed. There was a devastating flood, and before they could react, they were trapped in the water. Masego tried to save Mufasa, but the water swept him away, leaving Mufasa separated from his parents. After some time, a cub named Taka found and saved Mufasa. Taka brought him to his father Obasi's Pride, who didn't accept Mufasa at first, but eventually allowed him to grow up alongside the lionesses. However, Obasi's Pride was attacked, forcing Mufasa and Taka to run away to save the bloodline. After a tough journey, they finally arrived at Milele, where Mufasa was in shock. His mother Afia was there waiting for him after all the years. But she told him that his father is no longer alive and lives on inside Mufasa. So, what could have happened to Mufasa's father? We didn't get a clear answer to this, so to understand, we need to look back at what we know. The flood that swept Mufasa away was very strong, and Masego was really struggling against the powerful current. We see the fear in Afia and Masego's eyes as the water approaches. Mufasa is terrified because he can't swim, and Afia tries to guide him with her voice, but she can't reach him. Eventually, Masego grabs Mufasa and throws him near some rocks to hold on, but Mufasa still can't get to safety. Then an elephant breaks the dam, causing the floodwaters to surge and throwing Mufasa away. And after that moment, we don't see Masego anymore. This made many people believe he didn't survive the flood, but I don't think this is the only possibility. But the beautiful and tragic part about this is that Masego would die out of love for his son. This reminds us of Mufasa's own death while saving his son Simba from the wildebeests. Mufasa didn't know that this was a setup from his brother Scar, known as Taka, earlier. Mufasa rushed to save Simba and succeeded, but when he tried to climb out of the gorge, Scar threw him down the gorge, killing him. But at least Mufasa saved Simba, and that was important. This gave Simba a chance to escape Scar and the hyenas, just as Mufasa's father's sacrifice gave Mufasa a chance to survive. Without Masego throwing him to safety, Mufasa likely would have drowned. Besides the weather, there was another danger for lions at this time. Kiros was building his army of outsiders, and then they started killing every pride in their way. We see how Sarabi tells Mufasa and Taka that the outsiders destroyed her pride when they met. And when they got to Milele, Kiros with his lions shows up, and Sarabi is asking the lionesses in Milele for help. But one of them tells her that the outsiders have already taken a lot from them and killed out their families. So, what if Masego was one of the lions that lost their lives to the outsiders, who were on their path to taking over everything the light touches? And Afia, Mufasa's mother, somehow escaped the outsiders and found the way to Milele. Just like Mufasa and Taka left Obasi's group and with the help of Rafiki made it to Milele. After the flood incident, Masego survived and together with Afia found the way to Milele. Kiros didn't believe Milele was real and he was never trying to find it, so Mufasa's parents were safe there. They hoped their son was still somewhere out there and that he would make it to Milele one day so they could be family again. But when Mufasa finally reached Milele, he didn't even get to meet his parents because the outsiders had followed him and his group thanks to Taka, who left a trail for them to follow. But Mufasa and Sarabi refused to give up. They convinced the animals of Milele to fight with them. According to this theory, Mufasa's father was still alive at this time. But after the battle ended and Kiros was defeated by Mufasa and Taka, Mufasa surprisingly meets his mother, who tells him that his father now lives in him. So maybe Masego did make it to Milele at first, but he died during the fight in Milele. Mufasa had mixed feelings because, although seeing his mother again felt like a dream come true, he was really sad about his father's death. His mom, Afia, comforted him by saying his father lived on inside him. The animals of Malele were impressed by Mufasa's leadership during the battle against the outsiders and wanted him to become their king. Mufasa wasn't sure about this, but eventually accepted, mainly because of Rafiki, who showed him that it's not about who he was, but who he has become. Mufasa ruled Malele with Sarabi by his side, and together they created the Pride Lands. Unfortunately, Taka wasn't the lucky one. Mufasa never forgave him for his betrayal, even though he saved Mufasa twice after he betrayed him. He sacrificed himself when Kiros wanted to kill Mufasa, and after Kiros was gone, Taka pulled Mufasa out of the water when he had the chance to let him drown. From that moment on, Taka was called Scar, a name that reminded everyone of what happened. Returning to Mufasa's father, we see how much Mufasa learned from Masego in the short time they had together. Without his parents, Mufasa might never have known about Malele and by extension, never become a king. The same is for Simba. Though his time with Mufasa was short, he learned valuable lessons about hunting, the stars, and what it means to be a true king. Even though he forgot some of those hunting lessons while living in the jungle eating bugs and worms, he never forgot that the lions of the past were watching over him. Just as Afia told Mufasa that his father lived on inside him, Simba was told the same by Rafiki, that his father's spirit continued within him. But what do you think really happened to Mufasa's father? Was it one of these theories, or was there a completely different reason for his death? Let me know your theory by leaving it in the comments. Long live the king.